So we would think this and be like, oh my God, it's me.
Good morning.
Bro. I hear that. Anyway, yeah, so like 2020, fam. I mean, it's great to have seen the back of that, really.
Kind of feels like we're still in it, to be fair.
I know what you mean.
37th of December.
I know what you mean. Fam.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
Stop it.
I feel like 2020 kind of prepared us for 2021 in the sense that, like, we're doing certain things that we're allowed to... We like, how can I put it? We spent 2020 doing so much for ourselves, being either locked away or all these different types of things, that now that we're in 2021, I kind of feel like prepared for it. I felt like that was the training match. Like 2020 was
now's the actual game.
Yeah, now's the actual
first game of the season.
What are you gonna do this year? What are you gonna do this year?
Word.
But again, you can't put too much pressure on ourselves because everything's still up in the air.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Things are still in the national. We're in the yeah.
So it is, yeah. It's the thing of as well. Like obviously, everyone's like, oh yeah. Cannot wait to get to the see the back of 2020. Everyone had this like image of 2021 being a fresh start and everything's going to be. But realistically, guys,
so continue.
Corona's still here.
It didn't have an expiration date.
It didn't have. Trust me, Corona's still here. Shit in the world is still going on.
Yeah,
everything's up in arms.
Yeah.
So it was like we had this false hope, but deep down we knew that the start of this year was gonna be.
It's going to be
shambolic
mad.
as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now that it's shambolic, everyone's like, yeah. Well, to be fair,
like, you kind of expected this.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I didn't even really see 2021 in like New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Like I think I was pretty much. Like when it was hitting midnight and I was by myself, I was in bed by then.
I was with you. I was in bed too, bro.
Do you know what I mean? And it was one of those things where it was really weird because I think each year, when it comes to New Year's Eve, we always do something. We have some sort of event, or we always do some sort of viewpoint.
The man link up this year.
And I think that's that whole thing of like going to an event or something for New Year's Eve makes you kind of put this big anticipation on the next year because you're like, oh yeah, it's gonna hit 12 and it's gonna be a new year. But when you're sitting there by yourself and it hits midnight, you're like, right, like this is like 11:59.
We're done. That's the time.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get that.
I heard that.
You know what? I was just actually deep in the other day. Like, even though it's called COVID-19 and everything like that, COVID-19, obviously 2019, but we're now in 2021. I went into lockdown 26, and I'm gonna come out at 28. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, bro, what? Like, do I get them years back, fam?
Fam, them years are gone.
Look, the Lord owes me them years still.
That's why we got the new strain, innit?
Yeah, no,
that's why we got the new strain. That's COVID-20, bro.
So you're saying technically your next birthday you're gonna be 27?
Yeah, bro. No. As long as we're in thingy, I told you I'm 26 plus 1 right now. So
plus VAT.
Yeah, plus VAT. So
29 this year.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not do that, bruv. Because
you're 3 days older, innit?
Yeah, you're 3 days older. You're gonna be 29 before me.
You lot getting there, man. It's alright though, lads. I still love you lot.
You're saying,
you're not far behind, Ruben.
I'm 27 this year, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
good, lad.
Before you know it, you'll be 32, big man.
it's mad still.
Yeah, don't try to run that on me.
29's a big number, fam.
It's a big number,
but I don't know if I like it.
Uncomfortable number still.
So what would you say is one positive and one negative that you take?
Just embrace it, fam.
A positive that come out 2020.
Yeah, what was one positive of 2020 and one negative?
What are we doing personally?
Yeah. Go on, Dan.
Well, I go first.
Yeah, go on, bro.
Oh, can I? Oh, yeah, all right.
You didn't expect it.
You just dash it on a man.
Yeah, just hold that.
One negative. I'll start with the negative first.
It's gonna get all deep now.
Nah, what do you mean? Allow me, man. For me, it's all the death, innit? Like, personally and just like extended and all of that. Like the death was a mad negative. It's like all the depression and stuff like that, mental health. I just didn't like. It was a dark time when we first came into lockdown and COVID first came around
new.
and stuff.
We didn't,
you know what I mean?
We didn't know
what it was.
Know.
You know what I mean? So that's my negative.
Sorry to cut you, but you know what you just said about it's all new. Again, I was like when I was watching back at our first episode and we was talking about Corona. There's some of the stuff we said then, yeah.
we said it came from bat soup.
Yeah, word. We was talking reckless.
I actually thought it was a biomedical weapon, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm still
we had hella
convinced, bro.
theories. We had hella
We
theories.
talked about the when you went to a Chinese shop with your friend's birthday and that. Like,
I was vexed, blood. Dan was upset. Vexed.
Wuhan special, blood. Can't order a chow mein.
But you know, what's it called? What was I gonna say? I still feel. Did you hear about the Chinese woman that spoke out about?
then she got.
She just went missing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
weird.
Spoke out saying what?
That COVID is man made.
Yeah.
It was made in a lab and
And what now? She's just what?
She's never
Just
nowhere
off the
to be
radar.
seen, fam.
She just went, man.
You get me? It's
mad.
mad.
Well, a lot of Chinese people going missing. You got that
they do, you know.
billionaire as well.
Got the
You got
billionaire. What's his
that's
name?
Jack.
Jack.
Do you know what they do? Do you know what they do out there? Do you know
Been missing
what?
since October, bro.
The live is on, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's alright still.
No, Boris and them man in the lab. It was
Fam,
alright.
they control everything. Everyone's watching.
I'd say that one
Give us
positive.
a positive.
Positive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, Dan.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Ace Tiger.
For me, I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, I know a lot of people have said their own personal experiences. They've found positives throughout the year and stuff, but I struggle to find a positive apart from man still here. Do you get me? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I struggle to find a positive. I had COVID. I had it bad. Do you get what I'm saying? But I beat it. That's my positive. Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear that.
I hear that. No, bro, I hear
Now,
that,
man's
bro.
alive. I'm grateful. I'm happy.
For me, bro, that's a victory in itself,
This
bro.
is it.
So I'm
You
saying,
know what I'm saying?
don't look at anything as if like, oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Guys, stay at home, kids.
To be honest, I was never worried.
Sanitize your
I never
blood
worried
clot
because Dan
hands.
always finishes in first place, fam. Dan's a winner.
Has been.
No,
Always
don't.
will be.
I'm backing. I'm backing.
Ready!
You're
Hey, man.
Cool, we're about to fly.
Oh my!
Yeah, that was that.
You got the skeng
So
man
you know what I'm like at the shot room, mate.
got the skeng man coat on. Got the hood up like that, man.
And the Skankman boots as well, man. It's crazy,
Don't
man.
kill me. Don't kill me, fam.
You man are dumb,
Oh,
bro.
Yeah, man.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
should I say one
Yeah.
positive? Do you know what? That we start.
No,
Go on.
I was gonna say start with a negative.
Start with
we like
negative.
we like to end on positive.
Yeah,
come on,
yeah.
man.
Oh,
Positives only.
negative.
Yeah, that's how I tried to do it that way.
Negative.
No, respect it still.
Blood clean.
Yes,
What's the
man.
negative
Yes,
that I
man.
took from 2020? I don't know, you know.
Hey, is that you?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not even trying to be one of them people, you know. I don't know. Everything was positive. You know, you got to see the positive in everything. No, I'm not one of them, no, not that. But I think a negative would maybe be, I think the impact that I saw on people's mental health with it. I think seeing people like isolate and lock down and. You know, there was some people that were so used to going out every single week. Like, you'd catch people out on a Thursday night. Like, their weekend stops on a Thursday.
Thursday?
Do you know what I mean?
You mean a Wednesday,
It's a
mate?
Wednesday, mate. You know what I mean?
Two for lads, yeah.
2 for 1, mate.
Come on, mate.
But I think people really, really suffered, especially people that didn't have like an outlet. Like I'm lucky enough that I can drive to a viewpoint and then maybe go for a walk somewhere. Some people were in, you know, just in really isolated situations where they maybe didn't even have like a balcony to walk out or
was the
this
worst.
and that,
Or
they
even
just-
a garden. That's
or a
the
garden
peak,
to go
yeah.
out into. So I'd say that was one negative, is just seeing people really. It really take a toll on people. Yeah, really suffer.
That's
100%.
The positive, so let's end on a positive, like
Yeah.
is that we started this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I say. You know
Yeah,
what?
do you
Big up,
know
big
what?
up.
Yeah.
Big up us.
Big
fam.
up
Big up
that,
us, man. We started a podcast.
Original G's.
Fair enough. It wasn't in the middle of the pandemic, but it was just before. And a lot of this stuff was going on, like we just said. But, you know, we started something and we remained consistent with it when we could.
Do you know what as well? Yeah, because I'm just thinking, we could have let the like isolation and everything. We could have dropped everything. Do you know what I mean?
100.
But we continued. It was like, nah, we're not letting this go. We're gonna carry on. Get the people them what they want.
Innit?
I won't lie to you. I won't
People
lie
them
to
are
you.
calling for the podcast.
I won't lie to you. I've got, obviously, I commend all of you guys for obviously coming here, session in, session out, and you know, being a part of this. But for me, if it was, I feel if it wasn't for these two man here, in terms of
the organisation.
Organisation.
You already know. You already know. You know how the thing's set already.
The way Sean organised it, the way Aaron's been editing, and
100.
It would have collapsed, man.
I agree. You know what, Sion?
No.
No, no, real. I think they deserve
No, 100%.
Everyone give a clap.
Give it.
Word.
You man been on job. You
two have been a driving force behind this, man. Me and Dan, I wouldn't say passengers because we've.
He loves it.
Love
it, fam. Yeah, allow me, fam.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say, like, obviously, Dan, me and Dan have contributed, but I mean, in terms of
partake,
keeping this thing afloat and keeping us motivated and driving it forward. Hats off to you two.
Thank you, look. We're a team, though. Do you know what I mean? We're a team. So this podcast isn't where it is without all of us here.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I'll take it. Because editing to me is fun. Yeah, no, do you know what I mean? I know sometimes I can be...
Don't downplay it, Aaron. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
It is, and sometimes I've got other personal stuff going on where I'm like, fuck, I've got to edit the podcast. Yeah. But at the same time, when I load it up and I hear you lot and I'm listening, you lot make me laugh. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what's bad, yeah? Because again, as I said, I started the video editing. And as you were saying, like I was doing, like obviously I'm nowhere near the level he is, innit? But I was just looking at it. Yeah, he's a wizard, Harry.
Axron buttons.
But like, he just started doing his thing, yeah. And I was like, alright, cool. All I'm doing is syncing up the audio with the video and that. And I was only there for like, I was doing bare. And I looked and it was only 6 minutes in. And I got half an hour and a half left to do of this. But again, as I said, like watching it back, I lose myself in there. I lose myself. I was like, shit, I've actually got a job to do.
Yeah, no words.
Yeah, man. But you go positive and negative.
Like Aaron and like they say, babe, I'm gonna start on a negative. You know, finish on a posse. Finish on a posse. So yeah, no. Beginning of the year, posse. I think you man that are close to me know. Towards the end of last year was quite difficult. I don't really want to air
I understand, bro. Personal business.
But you know what? It was difficult.
It was very difficult in the sense of like it left man in a state of depression and. It was just tough, man. It was tough. So, end of last year, leading into 2020, I was on the ropes. I was on the rocks. I was on the ropes. I was getting fed right hooks and left hooks, uppercuts and jabs.
Hella haymakers.
Ate them, though, bro.
Yeah, no, man, ate them.
Man ate them up.
But sometimes
Muhammad Ali when he's on the
roof. There was times where I didn't think I could eat anymore.
Yeah, bro.
I get
100.
But there was so obviously coming into 2020, I was really like dealing with that, and then we all got hit with the pandemic. So it was a very bad start to the year. But having said that, once lockdown was in full effect. The positive that came out of that was me having a lot of time on my hands and kind of reconnecting with my passion, which is obviously making people laugh.
Content creation.
You know what I'm saying? Content creation. So it gave me a lot of time to sit down and I was like, nah, bro. Like, I ain't made a video in a minute. I went from November to about, so like beginning of November, I think till about the beginning of March, but I did not make one video.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
I feel like a part of you is missing, innit?
Missing.
Yeah.
And it's in him as well. It's
in him as well, because Sion's videos are so funny.
It's just him as well.
He's original,
He's such an...
Them don't know about Keek and them days,
They don't know.
They don't know. Keek, my days.
But the thing is, with Sion, all he needs is himself.
Yeah, this is
because he'll create characters. This is it. And he'll do this, and it's perfect.
I wouldn't normally say and a wig, but
you know what, man? Hey, I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Side note, you know the one where it was you and the next guy, and you both had wigs on. You were slapping up each other. That one finished me.
You know what? Another one's coming still.
Oh, bro,
that one killed me.
It's the one that you put out the other day with the baby. And then the baby's running along, it's getting shot in the back.
Oh yeah, many men.
I was finished, man.
No, man.
It's so refreshing to see how you take content or memes or things like that that are like everyone kind of knows, and then you make it into your own kind of thing. You add your own spin on it, man. That's a talent in itself.
That's stupid, you know. That's stupid, fam. I swear.
It's actually dumb.
Kill me,
It's
fam.
actually dumb, fam.
Every time,
man. So yeah, like it was a thing of like, obviously, I was like, raw, like I'm kind of losing myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And at that point as well, I was kind of losing my mindset. I was losing hope and faith and
focus and
determination. And that's not me as a person. I'm very, very determined and very
driven.
Law of attraction,
and positive.
that,
And I'm always trying to like get man positive and come on, let's go. Let's new
yeah.
day.
Coach fit, come on.
You know what I'm saying? But at that time, bro, I was a shadow of that.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the positive that came out of it was lockdown. I'm not gonna lie to you. Lockdown gave me a new lease of life, bro. Like I was on my game. I was dropping free videos a day.
This, you know, to the point where I was thinking, where's this guy getting the time to do it, fam?
When I
was
sit
just
back,
reeling off videos.
When I think about it now, I was dropping 3 videos a day.
That's mad.
That's mad. So for me, that period there, I found my buzz. I got my buzz.
Let's give him
back.
a round of applause, man.
Easy.
Editing those videos is not easy, you know. I'm just thinking about the EastEnders ones you done.
EastEnders.
You done it on your iPhone, innit?
goodness.
All on my iPhone.
But sometimes that's more than one character. That alone is editing.
He done the whole scene. He done this whole scene. You learnt the
Stupid,
script.
fam. It's stupid, fam.
Reenacted it.
You need to do a Patrick, fam.
Oh, do you know what? I've had a couple of them. No, but for the culture, man's got to bring out the Patrick still.
Do the Patrick.
Nah, you have to.
Because you got the accent as well, fam. The Asian accent, fam. You do that thing.
But yeah, man, that was my negative and positive, man. But yeah. On to you,
man.
Mr.
On to you, Mr.
Captain.
Hey, yeah, that's the one. Captain.
You think you got something there? What?
Say your negatives and positives, man.
Alright, for me, again, start with negative. I think for me it was as Dan said, it was more the death. You know, I think it got to a point where you almost start to become desensitized to the fact that people are dying from whatever's going on. Do you know what I mean? So when you hear a death, you're like, oh, almost like another one. Like,
Yeah.
and I didn't like the fact that it was almost becoming normal, that them type of things are happening. I think personally, me, more just a state of mind and things like that. Because you know me, you know I love to go on holiday. Obviously, it's a luxury, innit? But I think it's more about just being able to change my scenery.
Your scenery, 100.
And for me, not having been in, I think it's the first time in a while that I haven't been anywhere other than just staying in London or whatever. And you kind of just get to the point where you don't really know what you're doing, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's everything's just a blur. Do you know what I mean? Because especially, obviously with COVID and everything happening, you know, no one was really going anywhere. But on top of that, from before, with football and that, obviously I had my injury, so I wasn't playing no football. And you know that those two,
and then football went on for a while as well.
Exactly. So like them type of things were, you know, like going football and going work are like obviously big parts of my life, innit? So that's two things that I weren't doing. So then, like I think days were just repeating itself, kind of been like, literally get up. What am I gonna do? Play COD. Literally just play COD, and I was just like
sitting in your own shop.
Yeah, fam, I was just like, I ain't even wash it, fam. And I'm just playing COD, and it's just like after that, I kind of thought to myself, all right, cool, what can I do? Like, I just need to fill up the time. So I think the positive that come out of that is that I've managed to do so many things that has helped elevate myself. And obviously 2021 doesn't mean it's an expiry to COVID or the current situation, but I feel just so ready to take on this year. And, you know, I think it's allowed me to realise that there's more. I used to think that if I can't play football, what am I going to do? Do you know what I mean? Like, I will never stop playing football, this and that. But now I'm just like, rah. I can do, do you know what I mean? Obviously, I want to go back to football, but
I remember when I came to that realisation as well, fam.
it's mad, isn't it?
It's a hard thing to take.
It is hard still. It is hard because obviously there's a thing of like football's been a part of our lives from
young
time, high.
single digits.
Time, G.
Mad.
So it's a thing of, and especially with your injury as well. Like your thing's been niggling year in year out to the point where it finally just gave way and you need the surgery.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's long,
every
man.
season it would cause problems.
Yeah. So it's just one of those ones where I kind of had to just look at myself and think, what do I want to do? What am I trying to do? I'm trying to get money out here, so how do you get money and all that? So yeah, man, positive. I've got so much. Like there's more levels to myself that I'm yet to discover. So yeah, man. Hey,
round of applause.
I heard that.
So yes, we've got to the end of episode 15. Just a casual
recap. Recap of the year. Recap of how. Last year I should say.
Oh yeah,
and how things have kind of gone for us. But just thank you lot as the listeners for always tuning in. Because you know what, I know it's not always easy to sit down and want to put the podcast on. And, you got other things to think about in this pandemic. Let me get my essential shopping in.
You know what I mean?
For the shops closed and that.
I'm just glad that some people listen to us, bro.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? It's privilege.
Yeah.
It's nice
whether
to
it's
know
1
that.
or 100 or 1,000.
No,
Man sees analytics though. I see you lot listening, man.
We see you tuning in. We
I
like
see you lot
it. Keep
tuning
doing
in.
it. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Come on.
And if you want to feature on the podcast because you think you've got something good to add to us,
just something to talk about.
just come on, man.
Anyone,
Speak
just
to us.
DM, man.
DM. I hear that. Yeah.
You understand?
You know what I mean?
That was stern.
But yeah, man, you've been here with
Aaron.
Shauce.
Shapes.
DCB, aka Chargie D,
aka
under the sycamore
Bullet. Yeah, man, we out.
We out, yeah.
So yeah, just hold on. So actually, I'll do it.
Clap.
Bro, so I'm making something, bro. Am I moving mad?
Yeah. You trying to run it now?
No.